U.S. Treasury Secretary in Beijing today. Of course, there's a surprise visit on the heels of his India trip. And one part of his mission certainly is to help revalue China's currency. We are partnering now with the FT to bring you their flagship column, Lex on Bloomberg. Joining us now is Ben McLannahan. Ben, glad to have you with us. So it seems like the U.S.-China relationship is going from confrontation to cooperation. Is that right?
That would seem to be the case, yes. This was an unannounced visit, or at least an unscheduled visit via Mumbai, and also a little stop-off in Hong Kong to Beijing to see Yuan, who looks after trade and financial affairs. And his choice of a person to meet suggests that the renminbi is very much on the agenda.
Speaking of renminbi, we know that China resumed the issuance of three-year bills yesterday, first time since 2008. Market watchers say this is a pretty significant move.
Yeah, it is. Back in 2008, the effort was to try and soak up excess liquidity, to park more bank funds in the central bank, so there was less pressure on asset prices and less speculative inflows into the country, banking on appreciation. And that's what's happened this time, it seems. This could be a precursor to a move on the currency. And secondly, there's also moves within the PBOC's Monetary Policy Committee recently, suggesting a little more openness. Three new guys have come on board, speaking more openly. Of course, they don't set FX policy. That resides with these shadowy bodies, the National Development and Reform Commission, and also the Ministry of Commerce. But to the extent that they do have a say, they're certainly advancing the debate on a more open, liberal FX policy.
So, Ben, I just heard you say, you know, this resumption of bond issuance, it could be a signal that the Chinese are ready to revalue the yuan. If it happens, I mean, what is the range that you're hearing? We've heard anywhere from 3 to 4%, and that it is in China's best interest to do so.
Yeah, if you look at non-deliverable forwards, that's the thinly traded forward market for Chinese renminbi against US dollars. They're pricing in about 2.6, 2.7% within the next 12 months. That's the renminbi strengthening against the dollar. And that's been pretty constant throughout this year, to be honest. And that reflects, I think, just the people taking a step back from this constant back and forth between Washington and Beijing and just assessing the likelihood of such a move.
So, Ben, one quick question, though. I mean, if it's in China's best interest to kind of revalue the yuan, as it were, will China pretend that they have, quote-unquote, given something to the U.S. and therefore ask for something in return?
Well, this is where China's been very cunning. The bilateral relationship is defined by three things: Tibet, Taiwan, and the trade deficit. And if you think of it like a triangle with 3 points, by moving one of those points, the trade deficit, China puts pressure on the US to respond by moving the other two, just to keep the relationship equilateral. So yes, it is a very cunning ruse by China, and the pressure is therefore on the US to respond.
Ben, we thank you as always. Ben McLannahan joining us there live from Hong Kong.